We are recording. There we go. Happy Thursday evening. Welcome everybody who is already on. We've just been chatting for a couple of minutes before I hit go on the record, talking about things that we're using emotionally. They were all emotional things actually, weren't they? That wasn't my question. It was just what essential oils have people been using topically, just having a quick chat there. So I am just going to share my screen quickly because I have an exciting presentation for you this evening. Can you all see that? Yes. Yes. I love it when people put their faces up and they nod at me. It's great to see your faces. I love all the people who have got I've got a whole flipping pot this evening, but people who are just cheersing me with their cups of tea, and we're going to have a conversation about this now. When I do this session, actually pretty much every session I do, I really feel to say that it is just the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot that I could say. I could do an individual session on each of these topics that I'm going to roll through tonight. So I've tried to narrow it down quite specifically to using essential oils. There is more than that, and I will touch a little bit on those pieces. But the questions that we predominantly get asked around pregnancy, and then with babies, and then we move through, emotional stages, and there will be something for everybody in this session. So let me see if I can click to my next slide. So this is the first session in this series that I've had the privilege of being able to lead out with you all. There's a number of us now. So I used to do all of these sessions by myself. And I've loved being able to narrow that down to, really expert, more specific topics, and gotten a number of incredible people on board. So you guys would have met Tony and Sophia and Anna already. And we have guest speakers coming in and out all the time in these series. So if you've done this 8 weeks before, feel free to jump in and out in the next series if you want to. This is free for all of our direct customers, and I have invited other people in for these live sessions if you have questions for me as well. So this is me. This is me with 2 of my little people. This was a little while ago. They're a bit bigger than that now. I have 3 sons. They are currently 8, 5, and 2. I'm a nurse. I work predominantly so the majority of my career has been in critical care, so emergency and ICU, and I've worked in cath labs, cardiac care. And I also am quite passionate about mental health. So currently working between ICU and emergency, and then I do some shifts a couple of times a month in a private mental health facility in a hospital as well. As we live on some acreage property now. So I have a large backyard and very busy children and a challenging job. And I always make time to be here to do these sessions because I think this is super, super important. I've written there, look, I was reluctantly reduced to natural solutions. You can understand with such a medical background, I was like, no, my son is proper sick. Like, we were waiting cystic fibrosis testing on him. His chest was so bad. And we were going from one course of antibiotics to the next and constantly using inhalers. And look, that was it's not a unique situation. There's a lot of mums that have, respiratory kids. And I'm not saying that do exactly as I've done and you will get exactly the same results, but it's well worth giving it a red hot go, right? We literally saw a change within a week. And I think within 3 to 4 weeks, at least, like about that, between 2 and 4 weeks, it was 5 years ago now, we had him off all of his medications and he hasn't been back on anything since. So that was my wake up to, okay, so these essential oils are not just for hippies to make their houses smell good. They are not overly priced, funky thing. This is actually legit, real, making such a huge difference. So I started studying aromatherapy, and I dived way deeper into the research and some actual science behind how does this work. And I talk about that in my emotional session, that it's not enough for me just to be a happy smell. It's also not enough for me just to go, oh, well, somebody said do that, so I'll just give it a red hot go, because I'm the person who has all of the questions rolling through. So this is where I come from. So a couple of years later, I created Holistic Wellness, and that was in 2017. So tonight we are going to talk about, I just need to move this screen, sorry, what I just mentioned before. So it's womb to tomb, as we affectionately call it. So you can use essential oils literally from the moment that, from conception. It actually really helps from a fertility perspective. There's a number of things that we do, and also with a supplementation point of view, not just with essential oils, for pregnancy, pre and post, newborns, toddlers, little kids, big kids, adults, and then older adults, and then Depending on who's on the call tonight, we might have a time to go into end of life care. I often get asked about that. So ask yourself, who do I love in these groups? What I've got printed on the screen there. Is there somebody in your world? Is it you? Do you love you? I hope you do. But there might be some other people that you go, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely an adult and this is going to be relevant for me, but I also have a daughter or a granddaughter or something else in my world. So keep an eye out for those, because you'll find there will be information that won't just be for you, it's definitely for other people. So take note of that. Healthy can be simple, and it absolutely must be. You'll hear me bang on about this a lot, about simple, just keep it simple, because I think we overcomplicate life in general, and we certainly overcomplicate healthcare. And when we peel back the layers and look at what is going on from a simplistic point of view, then it gives us somewhere to start, and it also reduces overwhelm. When we feel overwhelmed and like there's just too much going on, then we don't take the action, therefore we don't see results. So ask yourself now, what is your greatest health concern? What specifically is hurting you or challenging you right now? I asked this question. Feel free to type it in the chat. Lauren's over in the chat as well this evening. Lauren gave us a wee wave before with her red or blue or green hair. Red? Is it red at the moment, Lauren? She'll be over on the chat as well. So feel free to type stuff in, and when I can't see it, she'll interrupt and we can go through those questions at the end as well. So I asked this question on my Instagram the other day about what is your greatest health concern. And interestingly enough, all of the comments came back kind of around the emotional feelings of what is going on in our greater world right now, which I found really fascinating. So it wasn't specific to, I have pain, I have this, I have this. So we'll try and touch as much as we can on emotional things. But if you want to type your greatest health concern for you right now, in the chat, or write it down on a piece of paper. If you would like to be 100% confidential, write it on a piece of paper in front of you, just so you can keep it at the front of your mind for now, okay? So solutions for pregnancy. I'm just going to start here. That's a photo of me pregnant with one of my boys. So doTERRA essential oils. Now, look, they are concentrated, the safest, the most pure. They're the wisest natural health choice that you can make for your family. And the company go to great lengths to make sure that they are helping the people on the ground, that they are only going to provide us with a product that is above and beyond anything else that you can get from any other essential oil company. And a lot of the other plant-based companies that you'll see, this is a cut above that. So we're the only certified pure therapeutic grade. We're also the only one with TGA approved essential oils. So there's a number of them that are TGA approved specifically for medicinal purposes. So I can talk a little bit more into those as well now that the TGA has given us another big tick on things like lavender, peppermint, bergamot, our long life vitality. There's a number of things which are, and that range is being added to all the time. Terrazyme, the ice blue, that list is getting longer and longer all the time, thank goodness. So gut health, exactly that. So LLV is short for long life vitality. That is our number one selling product, but it is a complete supplementation range. So you've got all of your vitamins and minerals, your omega-3s, 6s, 9s, as well as a food nutrient complex. So that is covering a lot, everything really that you are going to need from a base level. If you want more specifics, then we can go into that. Something like Terrazyme. So I've put that in there because those are digestive enzymes. And if you know about pregnancy, a lot of things get slowed down. You also, sorry, I'm getting a Dropbox. Not now. A lot of things slow down in your digestive system when you're pregnant. You're sharing a lot of your blood flow and a lot of your nutrients. And so constipation is really common, and also later in your pregnancy. So Digest Zen is something that is hemodynamic, pulling you back to hemostasis actually. So you can use Digest Zen as our digestive blend of essential oils. And you can use that at both ends of the spectrum. So for constipation as well as diarrhea. Some people use it, every day on the constant, and other people, you can just grab that as and when you need it, which is the way that I use that particular blend. So other things, pain relief, discomfort. We've got heaps of stuff that you can use naturally. And the coolest thing about essential oils in pregnancy is that they are safe and they are effective. I've heard all sorts of interesting things that people have told me about what is not to do in pregnancy, including the use of peppermint oil. Now, peppermint oil has known to reduce your milk supply, but you are not breastfeeding when you are pregnant necessarily. So that is kind of more from the toddler newborn perspective that we have a cautionary point around that. The other thing is Clary Sage, not the blend Clary Calm, and we actually recommend using that in pregnancy. Clary Sage can support your body into labor. So you want to use that at the end of your third trimester as opposed to using that from a hormonal support. But there are so many other things that you can be doing that is supportive. Skincare, stretch marks. Okay, so again, loads of stuff there. Even the Veriage Skin Collection, which is a cleanser, toner, moisturizer, serum. There's heaps of skincare. We do a whole session on skincare, so I'm not going to go into that. But I did want to mention it because it's something to think about from a moisturizing perspective. Frankie, the Cellubel, which is also known as our Botox blend. Of course, lavender. Lavender, cardamom, frankincense would probably be the 3 most used oils through pregnancy. And also another huge point in pregnancy is reducing your toxic load. So reducing now what you're cleaning with if you don't already have little people in your home. So that you are not introducing all those chemicals. So the 3 ways to use essential oils. I just popped this in here because aromatically, we talked about that before. We use a diffuser, and look, this is a cold steam diffuser. We don't heat essential oils. They do sometimes go toxic if you're going to heat them. It's gone are the days. These are pure products, so they're not diluted down unless they say the touch on the side of a roller bottle. When we dilute them down, that's when we're talking about topical skincare. So you can see that woman there has a roller who is using fractionated coconut oil, and you can apply that directly to your skin. So you can use them neat, but we often recommend using a carrier oil, so you're not losing so much to evaporation. You're also increasing absorption, and you're going to get a better effect of it. It's not reducing the impact, it's actually increasing it. So fractionated coconut oil or an unscented lotion. I put here know your ratios because people get a bit confused about how much I can put on. And to be honest, I haven't met too many people that have gone too hardcore and hurting themselves. I've made the mistake putting hot oils on neat, and you can burn your skin. But the opposite isn't so true. So you can dilute, and if you need more, then you can always add in more. So there's a safety precaution there. Start with less, add more if you need to, rather than going the opposite way and having to dilute it down. If you have any injury with using essential oils, then you can use a fractionated coconut oil as your first aid treatment to dilute it down. Do not add water. Water will increase the effects. Internally, so not for babies. I had somebody text me about this the other day. What do I use internally for my children? And nothing from an essential oil point of view. I actually just do everything that we need for them at their age up to nearly 9 topically. We use essential oils topically for them and get the desired effect that we need, and aromatically, of course. So that is the safest way to start. You can do it on your fabric, like Loz was just saying before. And you just use a cold steam diffuser, and it's safe for all ages. It's also a really important way of impacting, excuse me, I'm talking too fast, your environment. So if you're in a room that other people are going to be in and you want to change that atmosphere, it's a great way to just diffuse aromatically, right? Sorry, just take a slurp of my tea. Solutions for breastfeeding. So I'll just run through this one quickly unless anyone's breastfeeding and they want more specifics on this. Foundational support. So again, the long life vitality. The PB Assist is a probiotic. Breast discomfort. So I'm the person who has had mastitis a number of times. Sorry, Jeff, we're talking about boobs for a moment. And infections there, and have effectively treated that with essential oils on a number of occasions. So I know that it works. Text me if that's a problem for you. Baby reflux. So Digest Zen, Wild Orange, and Lavender. And with babies, I'm going to say it now and I'm going to say it again a bit later. You go to like a 1 to 10 or newborn baby 1 to 20 ratio. So that is like 1 droplet of essential oil and a whole squirt of carrier oil into your hand. Or if you want to be specific with a roller, then you can go 1 drop to 20 drops of carrier oil. That's how dilute you can do it with newborns, and then you increase it up to 1:1 for adults. So you've got that range to work through. And also, again, with breastfeeding, supply and decreasing and increasing supply, there's a number of things that we can do there. So just to recap some of those products, so the Long Life Vitality is pictured there on the left, and I take 2 of those each every morning. I also personally take another one as well, but those 3, basil, fennel, peppermint, we talked about already, Terrazyme, we talked about, Copaiba. This is why I have pictures so I remember. So Copaiba or Copaiba, so this is a cannabinoid, so it's your CBD kind of oil, so you don't have any of the THC in it, so you're going to get all of the beautiful cannabinoid effects that the essential oils carry without any of the hallucinogenic effects. So we actually use this a lot in pain relief, so for nerve damage, but for calming. It's good for respiratory system. It's actually really awesome as a sap, so it's for your skin as well. So Copaiba you can use as an all-rounder. It's your most like frankincense, if you want to think about that from a cellular support sort of a level, the Copaiba essential oil. So little ones, again, so fun because there is so much that you can't give little kids. Obviously, I work in an emergency department, so we have kids come in all the time, and other than Panadol and Nurofen and prednisone, there's not heaps that we can give to little kids. So we have to dilute stuff right down, which you can't really do from a medicine point of view. But when you're using essential oils, there is a number of options that you can do. So for gut health, so for wind, burping, helping with digestion, immune support, which is really, really important for little kids. You often hear mums saying that they're having a struggle because their child started daycare and they're constantly getting sick and they're getting other members of the family sick. So supporting your little people's immune system is important. Now, I would be using things topically, like actually this one, Stronger, is our protective blend specifically for children, or you can use On Guard in a touch roller or diluted. We always use immune support stuff on the soles of feet and up the spine. The boys actually put stuff on their wrists and on their neck at the moment on the way to school, so we do that in the car. And so you can be diffusing that stuff in your home as well, but we definitely use stuff topically, and my children just never have days off school for being unwell themselves. Skincare, Frankie, lavender, tea tree, and zinc. So zinc oxide is one of my favorite things as a barrier cream. doTERRA actually do have a diaper cream, they call it, because it's from America. The diaper cream, which you can use as a sunscreen, interestingly enough. So that has some beautiful essential oils in it, as well as zinc oxide being the major ingredient there. For the bath, I actually don't use anything else other than just the fractionated coconut oil and essential oils in the bath for my little people. And then when they get a bit bigger, I actually put some of the bath wash, body wash, sorry. And if you put that under, that'll foam slightly as well. So little people, again, there's a picture of what we just talked about. I already mentioned that. Frankie, see my frankincense here. Don't forget. Frankincense is a daily oil. We've talked about that a lot for adults, but also for small people. Cradle cap, acne, topically for emotions, for calming down, for cellular support. Jeff, I know you mentioned that you were using Balance today, so you can use Balance for everything. It's an incredible skin oil, and it is already got fractionated coconut oil, so it's a safe one to use directly on your skin. So elementary, so the little bit older kiddios, we talked about the Stronger, which I'm playing with in my hand here. That's the one on the picture on the left. Wild Orange and Vetiver for focus, uplifting and calming, rescuer and tamer. So there's specific blends that we have for children. When the kids get a bit bigger, they still have need for gut health, immune support, skincare. Now my famous owie spray is tea tree, lavender, frankincense, because those oils come in your home essentials or your family essentials. So they're your starter oils in your top 10. I always now add helichrysum. So helichrysum is, which I've been using, I've recently been getting bleeding noses. So I've been putting that on the bridge of my nose to stop bleeding noses. My 2-year-old jumped off a chair yesterday and split the bottom of his chin open. And these wounds are not fun to have to, Yeah, so it didn't need gluing because I helichrysed him a couple of times and then pull it together, and I whacked a steri strip on it, and it is great now. And then today, nothing. He won't wear Band-Aids, so he just pulls them straight off anyway. So essential oils are really helpful for us in this use. Bath fractionated coconut oil, lavender, Epsom salts, and I talked about the body wash, and there's kids shampoo and stuff as well. So if there's a problem, start with a natural solution first and then work your way as far as you need to go to get the result. And sometimes that is using medications, and that is perfectly okay. Obviously, I am a nurse. I love drugs. I don't have anything against them, but we don't even have, I might have some Panadol in the house now from a recent thing, but I don't genuinely use any medication on my children at all because we use essential oils first. So it's great to be able to use that as a solution. And same with adults. My husband and I don't take anything. I can't remember the last time the 5 of us were on a course of antibiotics because we use natural solutions first and we don't need to get to that point. So ask yourself, what habits do you want to create? What things are you going to have around you that you can be not just reducing pharmaceutical use, but improving your entire system so that you function better. You're enhancing your daily life, your lifestyle, your living is going to be so much improved. So teenagers here, so physical, emotional, and spiritual support here. So the HD Claire, because acne is a major issue at this point because of the hormonal thing. So hormonal support is great. So Clary is consistent hormonal support. So again, bringing your body back to hemostasis. So we actually use that pre and post menopause, as well as when you're already, now the point here, and I don't get confused because there's a bloke in the photo, Clary is for females only, and we would only recommend using that once you've already had a menstrual cycle. So please don't start using that until your teenager has already started a regular menstrual cycle. Lifelong vitality is really important here for these guys, and you can actually half or quarter the dose. So when kids are old enough to swallow capsules, this is a beautiful one to start them on instead of all the funky other vitamins and minerals and supplements that you can get out there, that you know that this is safe for those kids as well. Diffusing, my boys have diffusers in their rooms and they love it, particularly when they're feeling highly emotional and in the evenings to calm them down and help them settle in for sleep. So solutions, again, more for teenagers. Just talked a little bit about the emotional health, immune support, respiratory support, again here. Oh, and easier. I can't believe I've made it all this time and haven't even mentioned the blend Easy Air. That's what I started with. So that is our respiratory blend. So you can be using that any time of the day or night. It actually comes in and it's sitting next to me. So it comes in a stick like this. So known kind of as the not full of crap Vicks vapor rub kind of thing. So you can be using that on your chest. You can also make up your own with the essential oil blend, using that regularly for kids that are a bit respiratory, using it for athletes, using it for teenagers from a breathing perspective. Use it topically on your chin. You could put a drop in your hand, inhale like that, and that's your ghetto diffuser on the go, being able to breathe in through your hands like that. Muscle support, obviously kids can be experiencing a lot of hormones going to and from, so it can increase pain, and also doing a lot of sport and needing that extra support there. This is a great time to start with to continue with non-toxic cleaning if you've got that in your home, but for them to be able to use stuff on their face, teaching good skincare, having a lip balm, face mask, using lemongrass instead of nail polish remover. If you can reduce all of the endocrine disruption, you won't be setting off their hormones so much, which is massive in teenagers. So it is a really key time in life to be reducing any toxic load because they're already having a hard time often. And there'll be some mums of teenagers on the call nodding at me there. So girls on the left there, recommendations again for tea tree for blemishes and the impurities in the skin. You can use tea tree neat. That's in the touch roller there. That was the first essential oil that I ever used, tea tree, for my acne. I had terrible skin. Adaptive from an emotional, so anxious feelings, that is our adaptive blend. That's our all-round wellness. If you haven't heard the session yet that I did on the Let's BOGO group with, I interviewed a doctor. Well, we kind of had more of a conversation with a neuroscientist over how essential oils work in the brain, how that makes a difference in the science behind, like the neuroscientist did all of the specifics on why it makes a difference emotionally in kids. In all of us, but it's important to get some of that background knowledge if you don't understand already, rather than it feeling just like this is a happy smell. The reason why I mention it right now is because you can get some resistance with kids going, oh, it's not really going to work, or oh, mum, I don't want to do that. If you can give them the research-based understanding of how it works in their brain, we have never seen the rates of calls to Lifeline Kids helpline. I'm seeing children as young as 10 that are now self-harming. The anxiety, the depression, the stuff that is going on right now for our little people is massive. So it's not just teenagers. It's really important that we're aware and we know that we can support them. Intune here is a great all-rounder blend. We talk about it for younger kids, particularly with emphasis, like awesome kids with emphasis on the A there, if you're picking up what I'm saying. With that, it's for study and for focus and for calming, so that you can get those little people's brains who are all over the shop to focus in on what they need to do, the task at hand. Peppermint Beadlets here for boys. So they are 1/4 of a drop in a beadlet. So for fresh breath, a lot of athletes actually use this because it increases your oxygen uptake of your red blood cells. So it's great when you're like out there for long periods of time on your bike, or if you're an athlete. Peppermint Beadlets are a winner. Wild orange, again, is just such a great all-round oil, super affordable, and it is for focus and for uplifting. All the citrus oils are uplifting. Deep blue for muscle support, and just generalized aches and pains, which happens a lot. So for adults, of course, all of the other stuff that we talked about, and then specifically getting really good mental health habits that are going to be specific for your specific solutions for reducing daily stress. We are all under stress. I don't care who you are. You tell me that you're not stressed. I feel like in the world at the moment that you would be having some environmental stress, and also some emotional stuff going on. There's a lot of people, and I'm not just talking about the recent, government restrictions or anything. I mean, like, there's been some heavy things going on, and it's hard when you, as human beings, we kind of absorb what goes on in our environment. So being really specific in what is going to be what you let in, and having boundaries, as well as how you're supporting yourself to maintain a level of peace and calm and energy that you can function every day without being just swept aside by what could, simple things that could possibly be taking you out. Sleep is paramount. So if you are not sleeping well, then this is the first place to start for your mental health. Lavender on its own, don't underestimate the Swiss Army knife that is lavender. Lavender Peace or Serenity is the same blend that is got a number of oils on top of it as well. So cedarwood and vetiver and a few other things in there, which is a great all-round starter sleep option. I mention easier here because what is the reason that you aren't sleeping? And for a lot of people, often the blokes, or if you're carrying a bit of extra weight, then you could be getting sleep apnea. So being able to improve your breathing overnight could be the simple thing that's going to make you sleep much better. We do a lot. We actually do some more specifics on sleep, so I'm not going to go too much into that. But from a solutions for adults specific point, I cannot go past talking about sleep there. Stabilizing, balancing, and recognizing what is abnormal. So because I spend a lot of time with mums with young kids, and we soldier on and we think, oh, it's normal to be exhausted all the time, I've got little kids. We kind of sell ourselves short in a lot of ways of being able to have more energy and more stability and all of the things that are good for us. There's always an excuse, right? And pain relief, so my heading dropped off there. Ice blue aroma touch, turmeric. So I do a whole session on chronic pain, so I won't go into these ones too much as well. And again, non-toxic and real clean. So real cleaning stuff, so environment, your home, your skin, your dishes, the people around you. And like I said the other day about, I like my people, like my products, non-toxic. And I've had to do put some more strict boundaries around some toxic thoughts and people in my life at the moment, and that's okay. That's okay. You can still love everybody and be operating in kindness and have good boundaries. It's really important for your health. Someone will agree with me on that. Women's support here on the left. So bergamot, that's one of our TGA approved essential oils. Stress, self-confidence. Bergamot is an incredible understanding of identity and self essential oil. Adaptive, again, because it's our all-round wellness, emotional wellness. So this is for mental health, adapting to things. Sleep, their hormones, aging skin. We all have aging skin, surprise, guys. And then the men's stuff. So men don't tend to go so much for the florals, but a lot more into the resins, the herbs, the woods, the mints, and the citrus stuff. So there is heaps for men. The Amave blend is available at the moment too. So if you don't have that one for a cologne, then that's just a one-off thing that they do for Father's Day. So grab some of that if you would like to look at switching out a toxin. One of the easiest ways to do that is to change your cologne or perfume and use a non-toxic one that smells amazing and also has, like all essential oils do, have side benefits as opposed to side effects. So you're going to be getting more emotional support, more cardiovascular, respiratory, digestive. All of your body systems are going to be benefiting from these highly potent, concentrated, amazing little plant bottles. So aromatic, here's some suggestions for the adults. Citrus Bliss or Elevation. Chuck a citrus blend in a diffuser. I've got Citrus Twist in my diffuser at the moment, just to create an environment that is uplifting and free from toxins. We were just chatting about that. Topical, so I take an adaptive roller with me everywhere. I also have On Guard Touch with me everywhere at the moment. I'm in some pretty germy environments, so having that on me as a touch roller. Motivate, though, if you feel like you need some encouragement, Motivate blend is a great place to start. That's part of doTERRA's emotional aromatherapy range, and it comes in a touch roller as well as a neat bottle. So the neat bottles you're going to be using aromatically, the touch rollers you're going to be using topically, the neat bottles you can use internally. So every day, every single day without fail, long life vitality, and then a citrus oil to begin with. So you can use up to 24 drops internally from a citrus point of view, which is massive, right? I often get asked, well, how much is too much? And you'd really be struggling to go over what is being seen as safe. But I always say to people, you don't have to take them internally. You just do what you're most comfortable with. And I think the citrus oils are a great place to start, or to be using in cooking. Pictured here is grapefruit, lime, tangerine, there's green mandarin, there's all the different colors of mandarin. Actually, there's a lot of citrus options. Lemon and lime are great ones to have in your kitchen always. Just a quick point again on the primary benefits of long life vitality. Have a read of all of that, guys. It's massive. It doesn't have any genetically modified material, and it is dairy free. There is a vegan version, some of the fish oils in there. There is another vegan one that you can have as well. But the majority of people just love to jump in on this one. Now, this gorgeous lady is there to remind me to talk about end of life care, or for some of our elder stuff. I think the long life vitality continues, long life. But the specific questions that I've had with being in hospitals, I just need to check the time quickly. I don't have a clock in front of me. Oh, we're okay. Using essential oils in hospital rooms, or for aging gracefully, that's the wrong thing to say. That just slipped off my tongue. Aging gracefully. We are all doing that. Dying well is what I'm trying to say. There is no reason why those who are dying can't be comfortable from a digestive point of view, from an emotional point of view. This is actually an incredible time in life to be able to use essential oils really effectively. And also we have, it's not really we might get there in the question time about grief and loss and what you can do around that as well. So the glory is here, the fractionated coconut oil, because dehydration is huge, 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 huge. So you can be doing that topically. The majority of old people that I work with tend to dehydrate themselves just simply because they drink 2 cups of tea or coffee and they don't drink any water. So that's a great reminder for us there to be hydrating inside and out. The bone nutrient complex isn't something that I've mentioned yet. I think Tony goes through that, or Sophia in the nutrition and supplementation session, but this is important, particularly for women. We use a lot of bone density the older we get, and it's important to increase that because so you're not having, you know, fractures every time you slip over. So what do you do now, guys? What are we going to do now? Remember, healthy can be simple. It's really important to reduce overwhelm. So you've got that one thing that you have already said at the beginning of the session is your priority. So for something has to change, for something to change. So do you want change? Do you want to change something? What are you going to do about it? It's kind of tricky in a session this big to throw out rhetorical questions. I'm going to stop my share there and come back to that. And I am also going to stop the recording unless there was any burning questions. Oh, there's a few things that have been happening on the chat. So that's the presentation for this evening. I'm going to jump and have a conversation with those who are online and have any other questions for me, if that is cool. So I am going to stop the recording. If you have any questions, let me know.